Chapter 21. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the banks of the Hudson, the river sparkled as white swans glided across the water. Nearby, a young man and woman sat at a wrought iron table, enjoying the tranquil spot. The girl, about 17, had a lovely face, smooth, light yellowish skin, and striking mixed-race features. She wore a simple jacket and dress, making her look more conservative than the trendy women strolling by. The man was handsome as well. Had she not been there, some lady would have likely tried to strike up a conversation. He seemed nonchalant, as if little bothered him. "So, that's why you dropped out." Ye Li sipped his juice, occasionally tossing breadcrumbs into the river for the swans. "Hey, don't judge a book by its cover," Skye said, typing on her laptop. "I've learned everything I needed to. No point in hanging around." "I know, you're a genius." Ye Li passed her the juice. "So what are you going to do now?" Skye glanced at the half-empty glass, stuck out her tongue, snagged the straw, and took a sip. Maybe chill at the club for a while, then find something more interesting. Or." She paused, looking at Ye Li with her bright brown eyes. "Maybe become someone's little plaything." That it wasn't really a question. Ye Li reached inside Skye's coat and pulled her close. "You know Gwen and Jessica, right?" Skye tapped the keyboard a few more times. As a loading bar appeared, she ignored the computer and twisted her hips, pressing her soft body against Ye Li. "Maybe I was just born to be a bad girl." "That's not you." Ye Li gently stroked her cheek, enjoying the smooth skin, and asked softly, "Something happened?" Being a mistress wasn't a big deal to many Americans, but it didn't suit Skye's character. Skye looked at him intently. "Li, you really are like Jessica says, always knowing what to say." "What do you think?" No, actually, I just got a system task, Ye Li found it odd. According to him, Skye was still just an ordinary person. What reward would he get for completing the task? Just a hacker template? That wouldn't be bad. Good for gathering intelligence, at least. Ye Li didn't worry about it too much. At first, he'd contacted Skye wanting a system reward. Now, he just thought, this girl's awesome, I want her. "I found out something from my mother recently." Skye briefly told Ye Li what was going on. "She was hiding a lot, but I got the feeling something's different about my body. I went to a specialist and found out. Found out you have superpowers." "I can't see any." Ye Li thought automatically, but Skye said something else. Her eyes filled with tears. She wrapped her arms around his neck and said sadly, "I think I'm infertile." "You won't hate me, will you?" Man, This is the kind of trouble a young girl should have. Ye Li was surprised. Can't have kids. Is it because Skye is a hybrid of inhuman and human? Like a mule born from a horse and a donkey. Okay, that metaphor was pretty rude. She probably thought of herself as genetically defective. Time to step up, "Of course not," Ye Li said. "If you're free, how about being my assistant?" "You know." Skye said shyly, "You like that kind of roleplay?" Assistant or not, didn't matter. The beautiful assistant thing was the important thing. As for Banner, he'd taken off not long ago. Something must have happened to him. "I'd love to, Li." Skye moved closer, close enough to feel her breath. She smiled mischievously and said, "But your sister already beat you to it." What? Ye Li remembered. Jessica had been close to Skye lately. Poor sis, did she finally get seduced by a fan? He asked eagerly. "Skye, are you and Jessica?" Pfft. Skye smirked proudly. "What are you thinking?" "She wants to hire me as her assistant at the club. The kind that gets a salary." "Oh, okay. I thought." Ye Li sighed in relief. Getting cheated on by your sister was too scary. Compared to being with your sister, still exciting. He wondered why Jessica had been asking for extra money recently. So that's why, she's had to sacrifice many pairs of stockings of various styles for this purpose. Chapter 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Skye, your program's done loading, Ye Li said, pointing to the high-tech laptop on the table. He knew a thing or two about hacking now, and Skye's laptop was definitely top of the line. It's done. Skye exclaimed, overjoyed to see the progress bar disappear, but she glanced around, feeling uneasy, and quickly stashed the computer, Sneaky, sneaky. What are you up to, Even from a quick glance, Ye Li could tell Skye's hacking skills were impressive, thanks to his system-acquired abilities. She'd probably just hacked some top-secret database. After scattering the last of the breadcrumbs to the squabbling swans, Ye Li clapped his hands. Let's bounce. I'm getting a vibe that this place is being watched. A vibe? Skye figured Ye Li just had some weird intuition. She grabbed her computer bag, smiling. Do all artists talk like that, that she didn't think anyone would be onto her so soon after joining Rising Tide? That I mean, what kind of agency could be that efficient? Alright, Van Gogh. Chill out. She looped her arm through his. Let's go. Take me to your art show. Nothing to see there. I've got a better place in mind, where my best stuff is. Ye Li grinned mysteriously. Manhattan, Central Park, in the North Building, not far from Stark Tower. Evening, the security guard greeted Ye Li, tapping a few things on a tablet before handing it over. Need your unlock here. The tablet displayed a floor that wasn't open to the public. After inputting some encrypted data, Ye Li and Skye took the elevator up. Whoa. Oh my god, Li, did you do all of these? Skye gasped. Stepping out of the elevator, the entire floor was lined with secure glass cases, filled with paintings of all sizes and styles, even some traditional Asian pieces. Even someone with zero art knowledge could tell these were far superior to anything in a gallery. Some are mine, some are from other artists I've collected. Ye Li walked to a metal wall and pressed his palm against it. The wall slid open, revealing a life-size portrait. It depicted a heroic goddess of war, rendered with breathtaking realism. Skye couldn't resist reaching out and touching the glass. This is incredible. Who is she? Ye Li smiled. Athena, one of my more well-known pieces. Athena. Skye, always intrigued by the unusual, pondered for a moment. Li, you think gods from Greek or Norse mythology, do you think they're real? I think the so-called gods are just more advanced beings. Like aliens, maybe. Ye Li checked the time. Any minute now, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, should be falling. You're such a materialist. I thought artists were supposed to be romantic. Can't a materialist be romantic? Ye Li pushed on the wall, and Athena slid aside. If you're looking for a private place to start working on your computer, this should do. Beyond the painting was a spacious room, blending artistic flair with comfortable living. There was custom wood furniture. Freshly colored paints and various tools filled one corner. He flicked a switch, and the blinds on the floor-to-ceiling windows automatically rose, revealing a panoramic view of New York. There's a whole room back there, Skye said, impressed. He used a priceless painting as a door. It gave off a special aura. Not many people know about this. Only Gwen and Jessica have been here before. Ye Li gestured her in. Now I'm adding you to the list. Come on in, little assistant. Below the building, a figure with long blonde hair followed. Barbara had been trying to get any useful information about Ye Li, but couldn't get anything. Maybe I should stop following them and focus on the ghouls from Spider Club. Following these two, she figured, was just going to give her cavities. Besides, the wind was surprisingly strong today. She'd specifically checked the weather forecast. Gotcha. Ye Li, who'd closed his eyes to focus, smirked. He'd pinpointed his tail using the airflow. Time for a little lesson, maybe. Chapter 24. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom! Suddenly, dark clouds swirled above the building to the north, unleashing a torrent of wind, rain, and thunder. It was localized, affecting only a small area. Before Barbara could react, she was drenched, her blonde hair plastered to her face, and her clothes, chosen for mobility, clung to her, outlining her figure. Had it not been for the thin combat suit underneath, it would have been even more revealing. Too bad there was no one around to appreciate the view. Damn it, but she quickly grabbed a small device. It extended into a black, bulletproof umbrella, a shield gadget. Are those guys so incompetent they can't even get the weather right? Barbara was furious, but before she could relax, she heard more thunder overhead. Looking up, she saw faint lightning flickering in the clouds. An ominous feeling washed over her. Was she about to get struck by lightning again? Crack. A bolt of lightning ripped through the sky and slammed down. Barbara stared at the scorched marks around her feet, stunned. Walt? Teacher, why are you smiling like that? Skye, now in a tank top and shorts, lounged against pillows on the bed, working on a laptop with terrible posture. Just thinking about something funny. Ye Li leaned against the headboard, doodling on a sketchpad. What is it? Is it what you're drawing? Skye propped herself up, craning her neck to see. The drawing showed a woman in a panic, being chased by miniature lightning bolts. Li, she said, did the thunder inspire you? Just random doodles. Ye Li flipped the page. With a few strokes, a beautiful girl appeared on the paper. She was lying in bed, propped up on one arm, looking curiously at something. Cute, yet undeniably sexy. Why sexy? Because she was naked. Skye's eyes widened. It was her. Give it. She lunged for the drawing. Painters, she thought, were always up to something. No peeking. Oh, greater than over equal to less than over equal to. Ye Li snatched back the sketchpad, a mischievous grin on his face. Don't worry, Skye, the beauties I draw always get their clothes later. He was just teasing her. As they playfully wrestled on the bed, Ye Li added a few strokes, clothing Skye. Okay, don't bite. It's for you. Skye glanced at the drawing, then said sternly, don't show it to anyone, especially guys. Even though he'd covered her up, it still felt personal. Of course not. Ye Li tore off the page and handed it to her. I'll get rid of it for you if you want. You can tear it up or burn it. Ha! Who said I wanted to tear it up? Skye carefully tucked it away. Li had drawn it for her. She'd frame it when she got home. How's your progress? Ye Li glanced at Skye's computer screen. Yo ho, you're in. Military? Bold move. Skye was confused. How are you so good at that? Ye Li casually flipped through files, finding the Hulk database. Banner was currently being hunted down by General Ross in the Brazilian slums. He and Stark were brothers in arms. Li, this place is pretty sweet. Skye stretched, looking out at the clear sky. Why don't we build a branch like this for the club? Maybe that would attract Ghost Spider. High floors were more her style, right? This was expensive. Ye Li, while well off, wasn't exactly swimming in cash. Maybe it was time to find a way to make some serious money, but he didn't want to put in too much effort. Ideally, he'd like money that flowed in effortlessly, an endless stream. Too bad Norman Osborn, now a summoned entity, was a mindless fighter. Otherwise, he could siphon funds from Oscorp. Ding. A message from Jessica, bro. I contacted Ghost Spider. She agreed to meet with someone from our club. I'm putting you, the VP, in charge. Be prepared. Bring a gift. Too many exclamation points. Ye Li wondered if he was spoiling her. She was too energetic. Gwen wanted to meet him as Ghost Spider. P.S. I won't accept random girls. If you have any favorite characters, you can comment in the comment area. I don't need to mention the ones in my profile, they will all be accepted. Chapter 25. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, you really need to get Gwen some kind of gift. Ye Li ran through the random stuff he'd picked up back in Hell's Kitchen. Master Ball, catch them all, no matter what. Laser Sword, may the Force be with you. Elder Wand, Avada Kedavra. Fire Chelan AK-47, Rat-tat-tat-tat. Revised Golden Light Spell, for everyday folks. Tifa's photo, Jerusalem, City of God. Yi Li hesitated. Master Ball. Catch what? Nah. Lightsaber. I'd probably cut my own leg off. Too risky. Nope, Elder Wand. Gwen doesn't even know magic. Pass. Fire Qilin AK. Forget about it. The revised golden light spell, okay, Gwen's good at Chinese, she could study that. Maybe, Tifa's photo, doesn't count as a gift. After thinking it over, the revised golden light spell was the only halfway decent option, but he was planning to teach that to Jessica and the others, so he needed something more. Maybe he could help her soup up her web shooters. Yi Li had the tech know-how to develop spider silk launchers, but no R&D lab. Wait a minute, didn't Stark get kidnapped in Afghanistan and hasn't come back yet? If he could fish him out, he could probably score a spider silk launcher and maybe even 2 high-tech suits for Gwen and the others, and he could use Stark Industries stock to make some money. Perfect. Besides, while he wasn't exactly tight with Tony, they knew each other. No big deal to save him. Yi Li felt like things were finally falling into place. He grabbed Skye's notebook and started digging through the military intel database. Sure enough, Rhodes was already looking for his buddy, clearing out terrorist hideouts left and right. All he had to do was sweep the remaining area and rescue Stark, and so it began. For the next couple of days, reports filtered out of the Middle East about terrorist gatherings getting hit by acts of God. Sandstorms, freak thunderstorms, you name it. The terrorists were so spooked, their organization nearly imploded. Normally, Yi Li couldn't be bothered with these guys, but they kept shooting at him whenever he showed up, so he gave them what they wanted and sent them to meet their maker. Then, one day, Yi Li was flying over the desert when he spotted a settlement in the distance. Didn't look like a terrorist camp, more like a regular village. It was the last area he hadn't checked, so he decided to drop in and ask around. A kid digging for water looked up and saw a dark figure landing nearby. He screamed and asked Yi Li, scared stiff, "Are you a god?" Yi Li noticed the kid's ragged clothes and saw him digging in the sand. He activated the suit's translator and asked, "What are you doing?" "I." The kid glanced at the dry sand in his hand and suddenly knelt before Yi Li. He gestured, praying, "Lord God, it hasn't rained here in ages. The oasis is dry. Please, give us rain." Seriously? You think I'm the rain god? But hey, it's kind of in my wheelhouse. Yi Li could tell the air was bone dry. Zero humidity. This world is messed up. Gwen and her friends are having fun at school, and these people can't even find water. Alright, look up. What? The kid looked at the sky, then, a drop of rain landed on his face. It's raining. A god. A wave of good old-fashioned superstition swept over him. Yi Li asked about the area. He heard about an organization called the 10 Rings Gang, so he headed straight to their compound. As soon as he got there, he saw a guy firing a gun in a cave while the 10 Rings guys were getting ready to charge in. What a coincidence. Is that Ensign in the cave, buying time for Stark? The next moment, Yi Li hit the ground like a bomb. A shockwave blasted outwards, centered on him. The ground shook, and everyone nearby lost their footing. Those closest to him were sent flying. A sand dune next to the compound collapsed, creating a patch of quicksand. If Yi Li had used his full power, he could have made the whole place sink into the desert. The terrorists and Ensign were stunned. What the heck was that? Chapter 26. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Demon. That guy's a demon. Kill him. A bearded guy snapped to and ordered his men to open fire on Yi Li. But the bullets just sparked harmlessly against the suit, leaving no mark. Then Yi Li raised his hand, and a powerful airflow spontaneously surged around him. Driven by the airflow, the surrounding sand and pebbles swirled faster and faster, until they sliced through the terrorists' throats like razor blades. That's the way to go. Killing them one by one with my bare hands would have been a drag. Ethan, you okay? Behind the stunned Ethan, a big metal suit appeared. What was that? Explosives? The figure inside awkwardly walked Mark 1 around Ethan, peering outside. I almost welded my helmet shut. The next moment, he saw bodies scattered everywhere. Tony Stark was speechless. I'm guessing you didn't do this, Ethan. He edged Mark 1 forward a little more and saw Ye Li standing in the center of the carnage. Black Spider. Didn't expect a superhero to be my rescue squad. Tony knew about the Black Spider who'd been popping up in New York. Did you expand your operation to Afghanistan? I'm not a huge fan of the name Black Spider, Stark. Ye Li said in a low voice, trying to sound cool, I just happened to be looking for you when you got caught, how convenient. Tony said dryly. Anyway, man, you saved my bacon. He patted the metal chest. Too bad this big guy didn't get any action. I've been working on it forever. Alright, Mr. Stark. Ye Li slowly floated upward. I'll look you up when you get back to New York. Wait, what? Tony was stunned. You're just leaving like that? You want a ride? Ye Li flipped his windbreaker and shot into the sky. Before taking off, he added, there's food and water. Just sit tight and wait for the military to find you. Ghost Spider Fan Club, this club wasn't exactly serious, but it even had a combat training area, okay, it wasn't shield level, but still, impressive. It wasn't open to the public, actually, it was used. Nice, Jessica. Left kick, right punch. Try to keep those gorgeous legs straight. Ye Li leaned back in his chair, watching and coaching, you have a good foundation, but your fighting skills are weak. That won't cut it. I'm gonna make you a real hero. On the training ground, Jessica, in a black sports bra and shorts, showing off her ivory arms and long legs, went through a series of agile moves. The rainbow pierced the sun. The white snake spat venom. 4 ounces moved 1,000 pounds. Lightning struck 5 times in a row. Whatever, after going through the motions for a while, she stopped and took a deep breath. I'm beat, dude. Is this basic training even gonna work? You don't even know how to fight. Of course it will. This is a secret martial art from the East. You'll see how powerful it is when you use it. Of course, Ye Li was confident. He was teaching Jessica martial arts that came with the revised Golden Light spell. Jessica thought, I'll try it out on Gwen. If it works, I'll teach her too. Grabbing a sports drink, she asked Ye Li, so, big brother, you ready? When are you planning on meeting the Ghost Spider? Soon, soon. Ye Li saw the Stark Returns news pinned at the top and stood up. Gotta go dump all my Stark Industries stock. Spit it all out. Jessica choked on her drink. Li, are you kidding? Stark's back from Afghanistan, the stock is going through the roof. You don't know anything, Ye Li said, smirking. Buy low. Sell high. Buy low. Sell high. Flip it a few times. And boom, financial independence. Jessica, Sigma, winky face. Dude, lay off the lychee liquor. Jessica said, looking worried, don't lose everything, or I'll be bagging groceries to support you. Ye Li glanced at her. Don't worry. You're rolling with me. It'll be champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Grocery bagging is your superhero power. Hee Jessica grinned. I am the Wolf of Wall Street. He sashayed out of the room, all swagger and confidence. Osborne Corporation, GMO Laboratory. No. You can't do this. Dr. Connors blocked several movers. You can't take my stuff. Dr. Connors, I think you should take it easy. Our deal is over. The Osborne Corporation guy sneered. We gave you time, but your research isn't turning a profit for us. Time to move on. I'm almost there. Almost, Connors insisted. I'm so close. You say that every time. The company's hurting right now, and we can't afford to waste money on this. Give it up, Connors. It's just a pipe dream. He waved his hand and told the movers to get to work. Great reading on May Day. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now, activity time, April 29 to May 3. Chapter 27. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You don't get it. Connors blocked the workers, raising an arm. This is a massive leap for humanity. You're screwing over mankind. Several laborers looked at their foreman, hesitant. They hadn't signed up for a fight, that'd cost extra. Connors, the foreman said, his voice dripping with venom. One more day to clear out. See you in the lab tomorrow, and I'll have you tossed out on your ear. Save yourself the embarrassment. Humph, with a wave and a snort, he turned and led his crew away. One day, just one day. Connors slumped against the metal equipment, his legs giving out. One day isn't enough for clinical trials. His eyes landed on the row of green vials on the table, a glint of madness in them. He lunged forward, grabbed one, filled a syringe, and jammed it into his arm. Stark Tower. You just need me to build this. Come back another day. Tony examined the black spider's design for a web shooter, commenting, not exactly rocket science, but the creativity's there, especially this web solvent. Cool, I'll be back. And hey, can you whip up some suits for the Lady Knight and Ghost Spider? Not your average threads, you know. Otherwise, I just hit up a tailor. How many more suits do you want? Tony asked, exasperated. He'd barely finished the first batch. His own suits were still a work in progress. Alright, but it'll take time. So, are you guys like, a superhero team? Tony asked, eyeing Ye Li's Spider-Knight suit. Your suit isn't exactly off the rack. Why come to me? Not my handiwork. And keep the details to yourself when you meet Lady Knight and Ghost Spider. Ye Li wrapped up the discussion and was about to leave. The suits are in your capable hands. I expect to see genius-level craftsmanship. Less is more when it comes to Black Spider's identity. Tony's sharp, the more you talk, the more mistakes you make. Early this morning, Ye cruised in his tricked-out ride. Jessica rode shotgun, while Gwen and Skye chilled in the back. Bro, it's not every day you drive us to school. Jessica, enjoying the view, said happily, no wall crawling today. Usually, she jumped between buildings to get to class, combining exercise with a stealthy arrival. No one recognizes her on the street, anyway, but at school, with teachers keeping watch and Jessica holding some sway, she avoids the hassle. Still can't fly yet, huh? Work on it, Jess, Gwen teased from the back. Know anything about superheroes, Gwen? Jessica shot back. Just be our Ghost Spider cosplayer, the club mascot. She turned to Ye Li, who was silent. Don't be a stick in the mud. 3 beautiful women in the car, throw us a bone here. I'm driving, what's there to say? Why the special treatment today? Ye Li looked at Skye in the rearview mirror. Skye, care to enlighten me? Because teacher has class today, Skye explained helpfully. Teacher? Who? Jessica was surprised by Skye's new title and turned around. Wait, Skye, thought you dropped out. What are you doing with us? I'm now teacher's intern assistant, Skye said playfully, batting her eyelashes. The very obedient kind. Assistant, Gwen, winky face. Skye, are you trying to seduce me? Gwen pouted, tickling Skye mercilessly. You little minx. Ha ha ha, Gwen, stop it. Skye tried to escape, but Gwen was too quick. Gwen pinned Skye in her arms, who ended up crying from laughter. Skye, aren't you my assistant? What gives? Jessica said indignantly, traitor. My legs are killing me for nothing. Huh? What does Li's pocket money have to do with your sore legs? Gwen asked curiously. Nothing. I mean. Jessica started to get defensive when she said, we're great friends, like family. Gwen, leave Skye alone. What are you two talking about? Gwen looked at Jessica's lower body attire with suspicious eyes. She wore a pair of youthful and sexy hot pants. Under the hot pants were non-transparent high-quality silk, and on her feet were a pair of brown and black boots. Jessica had never worn them when she became a female knight, so she would wear soft stockings on her legs, and she would change the style almost every day, which fascinated the little boys in the school. With her clever mind, Gwen and the little filthy girl's eyes came to the conclusion, Jessica, could it be you too? I didn't, I'm not, don't talk nonsense. Jessica quickly denied it, busted. Ye Li rolled his eyes, 3 women, and that's why he doesn't want to talk. Whoa! What's that? Jessica shouted, changing the subject. Looked like just now. Skye, wiping the tears from her eyes, pressed her face against the car window. Something green flashed by. No joke, Gwen shouted to Ye Li, who was driving. Stop the car. Something's up ahead. Traffic had come to a standstill ahead. A green-skinned lizard man, thick-limbed and bulky, was jumping on the stopped cars, denting their roofs. Pedestrians screamed and scattered in terror. Car alarms blared everywhere. What a huge lizard! Jessica's eyes widened. Escapee from the circus. Ye Li narrowed his eyes and muttered, it's Connors. Jessica. Bro, did you, she asked hesitantly, did you have a falling out with Dr. Connors? Why are you trash-talking him? Ye Li said confidently, I can see 7 common features between the eyebrows. Jessica looked at the lizard man with a strange expression, that big green head, the ferocious mouth, and the disgusting saliva dripping from it. He can see that? It just feels like my brother is still cursing people. Gwen's eyes flickered. She remembered Dr. Connors's research, which seemed to be related to lizard genes. Could it be? Roar! The lizard man, mindless and driven by hunger, spotted a little girl struggling to run because of her short legs and charged. Oh no! Jessica yelped, not fast enough to get out of the car. Hold on. Shrimp catcher. Ye Li turned the steering wheel, and the car turned its head, skidded, and made an arc. The car swung its tail and hit the lizard man, knocking it away halfway. The feedback force caused the car to tremble. Trembling, Ye Li and Jessica both had excellent physiques, so it had no effect. Skye was shaking a little, and was protected by Gwen in her arms. Awesome! You're the man, bro. My turn. Jessica rummaged through her school bag. Where'd I put it? It's all homework. Where are my things? He's getting up. Gwen, leaning over Jessica's chair, warned, Jessica, move it. Coming. Jessica pulled out a mask and slipped it on. The sleek, metallic mask was a new model. Ye Li deadpanned, your cover's blown, why bother? It's about the ritual. Jessica produced a metal hair tie, securing her long hair in a ponytail. The metal ring was engraved with the English letters of female knight. Ye Li saw the lizard man lock onto them. This guy looks mad. The green eyes focused on the car. Roar! The lizard man took off, using all 4s to cover ground fast. Just as it was about to pounce, Ye Li had a thought. A sudden gust of wind kicked up dust, blanketing the area. The lizard man hesitated for a split second. The monster pounced. The crowd watching from a distance were also concerned about what would happen to the car owner who acted bravely. Is he going to be okay? The smoke and dust quickly dissipated. The car was gone, replaced by a tall figure. Jessica's ponytail swayed in the breeze, her slender legs clad in black stockings. On her hands, a pair of silver. The finger tiger shines brightly. Before he opened his mouth, he was really sassy. Ye Li, who had already driven away in the car, praised, Jessica is very handsome when she is serious. The next second, Jessica charged the lizard man. The female knight's here. Big lizard, eat this. Ye Li facepalmed. Great, back to the cringe. Jessica's moves were still solid. After Jessica learned the martial arts skills that Ye Li taught her, she became much more organized in her fights with extraordinary beings. With her strong physique, she was able to fight with ease, except for a few holes in the socks. They were almost unscathed. Jessica has become so powerful. Gwen, who was watching the battle in the car, felt that she had learned a lot. After hearing Jessica say that Li had guidance, she didn't know when Li would come to her. On the street, heroic figures were walking around and showing off their fancy fighting skills. which gave the onlookers the feeling of watching a blockbuster movie. They cheered loudly and couldn't help but take out their mobile phones to record the video. So cool. Female Knight. Knock this monster out. Go get M. Jessica was a hit. Take this. Maybe it was the time when Jessica saw Ye Li knock out the Rhino Man with one punch, so she made her finger tiger and kicking skills all hit the Lizard Man's head. This strategy is correct. The Lizard Man relies on his toughness with its scales and powerful self-healing power. It would be harmless to attack other parts of the body, only concentrated attacks on the head can make it dizzy. Moreover, under Jessica's fists and kicks, the beastly instinct in the Lizard Man's eyes has faded a lot. It regained some people's rationality. It shook its head and spit out some words. Varied, Gene. He can talk. Jessica stepped on its chest, and then pulled away from it. Just as she was about to observe the situation, the Lizard Man suddenly turned his head, crawled quickly and ran away in the opposite direction. Trying to bolt. Jessica was not slow, and she caught up with him in a few big jumps, but when the Lizard Man climbed to the entrance of a sewer, he opened the manhole cover and got in. As soon as Jessica landed on the manhole cover, the smell hit her face. Ugh, that stinks. She put away her finger, fanned her little hand, and said disgustedly, forget it, let's not chase him anymore. A certain superhero stopped working on the spot because he didn't want to get into the sewer. Ye Li made a beautiful and elegant gesture, and the car stopped next to Jessica. Get in the car, Jessica, you did a good job this time, we are already a day late. It's almost an hour, it's time to go to school. Right on. Jaxie quickly got into her car and fled the scene. Chapter 28. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How's it hanging? Jessica was stoked that Ye Li recognized her. She totally took credit from Gwen and Skye, bragging, I protected the citizens of New York. Jessica, you're amazing. Skye's eyes were wide with admiration. You took down that crazy lizard monster like it was nothing. She'd been dying to see superpowers in action. Watching Jessica kick butt up close was incredible. Having a superpowered friend is the best. Your popularity's blowing up ghost spiders. Gwen pulled out her phone and showed Jessica, raising her eyebrows with a grin. The internet's flooded with videos of you fighting. Some people are even calling you Valkyrie. Valkyrie? I'm so over hearing guys yell about goddesses. Jessica said, trying to act cool. I'm the female knight. I hope they remember that. Jessica, why don't you start your own fan club? Skye suggested. Where am I gonna get the dough? Jessica looked at Ye Li, only to find him staring at the rips in her stockings. Nope. Jessica squeezed her eyes shut and shook her head. No way was she asking for more pocket money. She'd lose feeling in her legs. She couldn't let herself be a money grubber, she was a superhero now. Gwen had an idea. Maybe you could take over the Ghost Spider fan club and rename it the Ghost Spider and Female Knight fan club. She was already running the club for Jessica. Sharing it wouldn't be a problem, Ye Li figured he had to step in. Otherwise, the club's name could end up longer than S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't think we need to change the name. Sticking with Ghost Spider as a tribute to the original idea makes sense. He continued, instead, let's change the club's focus. Make it a fan club for multiple heroes. We can add Jessica's female knight, get more members, and rake in more dues. The girls thought Ye Li's first points were solid, but they rolled their eyes at the last part. Why was he still obsessing over money when he was loaded? Don't give me that look. Ye Li could practically read their minds. If the club's going to grow, it needs to evolve into a real organization. It's gotta have some income streams. You can't just throw money at everything. Listening to him lay it out so clearly, the girls started to think. If Jessica just started the club for fun, maybe it was time to turn it into something bigger. Of course, they couldn't just screw around. They had to learn how to manage it. Alright, we're here. Ye Li parked in the school lot and hopped out first. The girls, still buzzing about the future, followed. It was the break between classes, and the students couldn't help but stare at the three gorgeous girls surrounding the handsome guy. Someone recognized the school's resident superhero. It's Jessica. Jessica, I saw you on the news this morning. You were awesome. Ignoring the shouts, Jessica and Gwen headed to class, and Ye Li took Skye to his studio. One word, different meanings. My class starts at 10. Skye, head to my studio at school and help me get everything ready. After they split up, Ye Li dropped Skye off. He'd sensed Peter, and things weren't looking good. After all, he was the neighbor kid who used to follow him around. He deserved a rescue. Peter, you better smarten up and stay away from my leads. Thompson, I've got nothing going on with Liz. Under a big tree, Peter was cornered by Thompson and his buddies. Thompson sneered, shoving Peter. Worthless Peter, if Gwen and Harry didn't bail you out, where would you be? Peter stood his ground. Don't push it. He might be shy and introverted, but he wasn't a coward. What if I do? Thompson shoved him again. This time, Peter just took it. He knew Thompson wouldn't go too far. After all, Peter was also a top student who the teachers liked. Still, Thompson's scorn, and the looks from everyone around him, made him feel sick. Hey, try not to be a jerk. A voice came from behind them. It's you. Thompson whirled around and saw Ye Li, the guy who'd tossed him out of the party. He took a step back, scared. What do you want? Ye Li smirked. I'm gonna sprinkle some ashes in your eyes. Huh? Thompson was totally confused when a gust of wind blew dust straight into his face. Ah! My eyes. Free from Thompson and the others, Ye Li said a quick hello to Peter, said he had to get to class, and left. He'd done his good deed. Under the big tree, Peter leaned back against the trunk, scrolling through the news about the female knight's fight with the lizard man. But instead of focusing on Jessica, he was fixated on the lizard man. He'd been helping Connors with his research, so he immediately knew who it was. The power, the claws, the raw destruction. He was hooked. Could I get that kind of power from the same formula? He wondered. Compared to that, Thompson is nothing. I'd be the one calling the shots. Mary Jane and the others would finally notice me. Peter made up his mind and texted Connors. Chapter 29. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The clock ticked, the hands pointing towards the upper left. Seeing lunch was almost here, Ye Li put down his brush, announcing, all right, that's it for today. Class dismissed. Skye, his teaching assistant, reminded him in a low voice, Li, class isn't over yet. Actually, it was pretty early to be letting them go. The students weren't happy about the early dismissal. They were really enjoying Ye Li's class. A striking, snow-white-haired student boldly spoke up, Professor, your lecture was great. Could you keep going a little longer? Nope. Ye Li shook a finger. Even beautiful women couldn't distract him from his lunch plans. I remember you did a great job with the crown jewels. I'll give you some one-on-one instruction sometime. He grabbed his coat, ready to enjoy lunch. As soon as Ye Li dismissed class, the students practically scattered. The white-haired beauty who'd spoken up earlier stood, revealing her full figure. She was incredibly well-proportioned, even compared to Skye and the others, with a seriously devilish figure, curvy and definitely attention-grabbing. Just as Ye Li was leaving the studio, he saw her dragging another girl towards him, a dazzling smile on her face. Professor, I'm Felicia Hardy. Can I get your contact info? I'd love to take private painting lessons. Ye Li smiled, his eyes seeming to see right through her. Privately, huh? Just for painting? I suspect you're after my body. Seeing his smile, Felicia quickly changed tactics, introducing the girl she'd pulled along. This is Cindy Moon, my friend. She also wants to learn painting from you, Professor. This Cindy Moon, the one Felicia had dragged along, was a beautiful Asian girl, completely different from Felicia. Cindy's simple dark hair and light pink lips gave off a fresh and elegant vibe. Felicia seemed to be upping the ante. Her cool, beautiful face took on a charming look as she enticed Ye Li, let's all learn together. Learn what together? Painting, of course. Cindy seemed more reserved. When her friend revealed her intentions, she said playfully, Felicia, what are you saying? Ye Li had noticed this girl in class, and not just because of her stunning Asian features. Her paintings stood out, they were all cobwebs, layer upon layer, the intertwined webs created a sense of unease and fear. He wondered what she was thinking when she painted them. Compared to Felicia's bright crown, they were definitely striking. Looking at the two beauties with completely opposite styles, Ye Li became intrigued. He shook hands with both of them. If you two lovely ladies are interested, I'd be honored to guide you. You can find me at the gallery on 5th Street, it's where I work, or you could come to Sunnyvale Manor. I can't bring you back to my place in the Lower East Side, otherwise Jessica will definitely drag Gwen over to watch. Here we go again. Be careful Gwen and the others don't find out, Skye said, curling her lip, but as an assistant, she couldn't really say anything. Felicia smiled, exchanged contact info with Ye Li, and happily shook his hand, but when it was Cindy's turn, something unexpected happened. As she politely held her small hand in Ye Li's, a strange sensation instantly passed between them. It was her spider sense. Cindy's spider sense seemed much stronger than Gwen's. Her whole body trembled. You. Ye Li started to say something. Cindy looked up, vague webs forming in her eyes. She seemed drawn to something, staring at Ye Li's mouth, an urge to taste it rising within her. Felicia asked worriedly, Cindy, what's wrong? That she wondered, could it be that her friend was so overwhelmed by a handsome guy that she couldn't handle it? It was just a handshake, after all, but then, Cindy threw her arms around him, standing on her toes. Then, she kissed him. Skye and Felicia were stunned. Ye Li was confused. An unexpected, aggressive attack, and a strange, delicate body pressed against his. Had he underestimated the enthusiasm of American girls? She seemed like a quiet girl, but was being so forward when they had just met. If it was Skye or Gwen, Ye Li wouldn't be surprised, but Cindy was too abnormal. They hadn't even exchanged a single word. Cindy's hot breath tickled his nose. After a few moments, the longing in her eyes faded. She seemed satisfied, but others weren't. Did you have to be so proactive when chasing guys? Felicia wondered if she'd been too reserved, letting her normally quiet friend take the lead. Cindy, I was wrong. Felicia narrowed her eyes. You're the real master. You're already all over him. Was it that good? Ye Li smacked his lips, tasting the moment. He would describe her as a novice, but one whose enthusiasm made up for any lack of skill. Ah. Cindy snapped back to reality, touching her lips in disbelief. What just happened? Her cheeks flushed and she turned to leave, but after a few steps, she suddenly spun around and grabbed Ye Li's wrist. Come with me. Ye Li felt a strong pull on his wrist and allowed himself to be led away. He was also a little expectant. Why was she dragging him along? Was this America, where you just grabbed what you wanted? Cindy dragged Ye Li out of the classroom. Only then did Skye and Felicia realize something was wrong. This was going too far. Stop. Cindy. They hurried after them. Skye even shouted anxiously, Mansnatcher. Greater than over equal to less than over equal to. In her eyes, Ye Li was just a harmless artist. What if he was assaulted? Under U.S. law, female-on-male sexual assault was still a crime, even for beautiful women. Peter, Dr. Connors, how are you? Are you feeling better? Connors, Peter, I couldn't feel better. Powerful strength, incredible healing factor. Even my lost arm has grown back. This is the glorious evolution humanity deserves. Connor's message had several errors. If you thought about it, his mental state was not stable. But Peter was so focused that he didn't pick up on it. He asked hopefully, Dr. Connors, could you give me a try? I want that power too. Connors, of course. Peter, you helped me, and I'll share it with you. And not just you, I want all of humanity to experience the glory of evolution. I have a plan. Peter didn't read the rest of the message. All he cared about was that Dr. Connors had agreed to his request. Just wait, Thompson, your good times are about to end. Just as Peter was fantasizing about gaining amazing abilities, he saw two people run past. It looked like a girl was dragging a boy. And then, two more girls came running, desperately chasing after them. Stop. Let me go. Cindy, this is school. Abducting a professor will get you in trouble. Peter's reaction was slow, his mind full of his own thoughts, so he didn't recognize who the four were. He just thought the boy who was being chased by three girls must be popular. It reminded him of Thompson, the school football star, who was always surrounded by girls. Peter vowed to knock Lightning off his pedestal and humiliate him in front of everyone. Dr. Connors, where are you? I can't wait. Girl, you're too eager, Ye Li said, being dragged along by Cindy. I think we should sit down and get a cup of coffee first. If you like boba, that's cool, Gwen is a big fan. Cindy blushed, not slowing down. Stop pretending, I know what's up. Know what? Ye Li had a few guesses, but still teased, been struck by Cupid's arrow. I know I'm irresistible, but don't worry, we can take our time. No. No. Cindy shook her head. She was attracted to Ye Li, but something else was going on, something beyond her control. It's a spider. Cindy finally dragged Ye Li to a secluded spot. Were you also bitten by a weird spider? Did your hands become sticky and your strength go through the roof? Like that Spider-Woman in the news? She was different from Gwen. Her unusually strong spider sense allowed her to know that the source was this guy who made her want him. I think that's why I came on to you, Professor. Cindy explained. Ye Li scratched his head. Why don't I feel the same way? He enjoyed the close contact with Cindy, but wasn't about to go crazy. Huh? Cindy grabbed her hair. That's not fair. Why am I the only one feeling this way? Is it because you don't think I'm cute? She approached Ye Li, asking suspiciously, don't you like me? Oh no, you're totally tempting. Ye Li wasn't about to disappoint her. I'd love to talk with you about it. Why not set up a time for in-depth communication? Hey! I'm not just any girl, Cindy protested, then looked at Ye Li, guessing. Let me guess. The Spider-Woman's a woman, so you're Black Spider, Ye Li said casually. I think you're Spider-Woman. Black Spider looked similar to Spider-Woman, but didn't climb walls or shoot webs. The two weren't necessarily related. I'm not Spider-Woman, you can call me Silk, or Bride. Bride? It's just a title. Cindy didn't give up on the idea that Ye Li was Black Spider. Her spider sense told her that Skye and the others were coming, and she started to take off her clothes. Soon, she was down to her smalls. A lot of skin was on display. Ye Li raised an eyebrow. What are you going to do? Right here. Don't get any ideas. Hold these. Cindy shoved her clothes into his arms, then her fingers started going, spinning webs. Webs started appearing all over her body, forming a spider silk uniform. The way she used webs was different from Gwen's web shooters. It looked like magic. I think you want to take me away, right? Ye Li looked at Cindy's new spider silk outfit. Well, it was more stimulating than nothing at all. Cindy wrapped an arm around his waist, and a web shot out from her hand, sticking to a nearby building and pulling them into the air. Swinging, I have a lot to tell you, and it's important. Our identities are more dangerous than you think. Ye Li clutched her clothes and took out his phone. I should probably tell Skye and the others I'm going on a date with you, so they don't worry, right? Whatever you want. Chapter 30. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hateful. Hateful. That circuit design was my idea. Why are those guys upstairs taking all the credit? Max Dillon, an electrical engineer at Osborne Group, was getting hammered on a rooftop. Empty beer cans littered the ground as he edged closer and closer to the building's edge. Ever since he was a kid, Max thought he had a knack for electrical work, a real talent. He always dreamed of becoming an engineer, but his single mom didn't think he was smart enough and pushed him into a factory job, just wiring things up. After grinding for what felt like forever, Max finally landed an electrical engineer position at Osborn, but growing up in a single-parent home gave him a bit of a temper, so his colleagues didn't really click with him. He felt invisible at work. Then, during a company-wide circuit upgrade, he saw an opportunity and came up with a brilliant plan. He should have been recognized, but his bosses stole all the glory. Nobody appreciated him, and he was completely demoralized, which led him to the top of this building, drowning his sorrows in beer, and scrolling through the news, not really paying attention. Osborn Group shareholder dispute spirals out of control. Many unprofitable research projects have been scrapped. Future direction remains uncertain. Oh, great. Breaking, no sign of Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. Experts suspect he faked his own death. Norman. Oh, hell yeah. Pop the champagne. Tony Stark announces Stark Industries weapons division shutdown, causing an uproar and sending investors into a frenzy selling stock. You son of a bitch. I lost a fortune. Damn capitalists, they all deserve to die. Ghost Spider takes down numerous gang hideouts, providing key tips to the NYPD. Insiders claim that the organization's leader is a man named Tombstone. Fans call her the most accessible superhero, but female Knight fans seem to disagree. Superheroes? Can they save my miserable life? The more he read, the angrier he got. He shut off his phone, skipping the last headline. Black Spider suspected sighting in Afghanistan. Feeling like his life was worthless and fueled by booze, he stumbled to the edge of the roof, ready to jump. He didn't notice two figures swinging closer, wrapped in each other's arms. Cindy, you live so far away. It must be a pain to get to school. Ye Li had an idea. Why don't you just live on my estate? Free utilities, no rent, and I can even get you a driver. I'm afraid you'll try to eat me. Cindy squirmed. Teacher, can you, stop groping me in weird places? Careful, I miss, we fall down together. I'm just curious about your spider silk material. Besides, you don't seem to mind all that much. It's this weird attraction thing. Cindy, you're so classy in class. Felicia's gonna be bummed when she finds out what a creep you really are. I think she'd get a kick out of it. Ye Li was about to tease her some more when the system pinged. Gwen Stacy's nemesis, Electro, Maxwell Max Dillon detected. Ye Li sensed it. After a moment, he spotted Max on the rooftop, looking like a low-rent Nicolas Cage. He was about to jump. Ye Li thought, what the hell? And decided to help him. Max wanted to die, so why not rake in some rewards? He wondered if helping someone counts as a defeat. Even though Max seemed ordinary now, so what? He wasn't about to let an enemy grow stronger and threaten his woman. The system pegged him as a nemesis, which meant if Max didn't change, he'd cross paths with Gwen later on. Of course, Ye Li did have a conscience, sort of. If Max could pull through, fine, he'd figure out how to deal with Electro later, but right now, he'd save himself the trouble. So, just as Max was about to take the plunge and end it all, he felt a sudden, powerful gust of wind shove him from behind, like divine intervention. Oh God, do gods want me to die? Is my life really a failure? With that thought, he tumbled off the roof, but what Ye Li didn't expect was Cindy swung right into that path. Whoa! Incoming! Cindy instinctively fired off a huge web, ensnaring Max and sticking him to a skyscraper window. That was close. If you wanna die, do it far away, not here. Cindy patted her chest, shaken. Her spider sense and speed trumped Gwen's, but she was weaker and less durable. If she'd been hit, it would have hurt, especially with Ye Li in her arms. Ye Li saw Cindy's other side come out. Aren't you a superhero? He asked, confused. Who said I was a superhero? Cindy warned him. Don't go playing Ghost Spider just because you have some abilities. We can barely protect ourselves. I'll explain later. Ye Li didn't care. He knew about the Morlun family, but so what? His powers came from the system, which protected him. Morlun's totem hunter methods wouldn't work on him. Meanwhile, Max was stuck to the window, stunned. He couldn't even die right. Hey, leaving Ye Li on the rooftop, Cindy dangled upside down and used her webs to hoist Max up. Might as well see this through. I'm bringing you back up. You're a superhero. Max stared at Cindy as she pulled the web, mesmerized. That sleek figure, that tight waist, that sexy spider suit, gorgeous, even with the mask. Max's imagination ran wild. He felt like he was in love. He didn't want to die anymore. Hey, what are you looking at? Ye Li reached for Cindy's chest, blocking Max's line of sight. Cindy. Others can only look at it, but you have already mastered it, okay? She almost dropped Max again. Time skip. Osborn Tower, Chairman's office. Someone filmed an Osborn employee trying to commit suicide by jumping off a building, but Spider-Man saved him. The news is spreading. Labor unions are accusing us of mistreating our employees, and... Enough. Hearing the word spider made Harry grit his teeth, stopping the employee in his tracks. Don't bother me with this crap. I already have enough on my plate. Get out. Yes, sir. The employee beat a hasty retreat, not wanting to get involved. Damn bored. They're just trying to distract me. Once alone, Harry exploded, as if he'd been holding it in forever. He slammed his fist on the table, revealing a secret entrance. Inside was a Green Goblin suit, serum, Green Goblin glider, pumpkin bombs, and other gear. Norman Osborn had prepared backup plans and left instructions for Harry, allowing him to acquire Green Goblin technology. Harry walked into the darkroom and picked up the Green Goblin mask. After hesitating, he slowly put it on. No one will take this company from me, he he he. A sinister laugh echoed through the room. At the same time, in a sewer, Peter searched with a flashlight. Dr. Connors, are you here? New York City was buzzing.